Всем привет! Welcome everyone, I am Kazak, and today I'm going to be talking about this uniform that I'm wearing right now, the Russian VKPO 1.0 Layer 4 summer suit. So let's start with the naming of this suit, and it ties into its history. Why is it VKPO and not VKBO? So the original design work for what would become VKPO began around 2011. It was started and conducted by BTK Group. Originally, it was based on the American ACU, and specifically if we take a look at the tags on very early production summer suits from BTK, they will actually, the tags will say summer field suit ACU. This of course changed with time. Some of the differences include the pockets, which you can see are much different than the very, I would say, uncomfortable pockets on the ACU uniforms. Other differences include the places for rank insignia being on the shoulders instead of on the chest. So the development of this uniform system continued up until 2014, where prototype uniforms, experimental batches, were tested by soldiers taking part in the operation in Crimea. After that, the uniform was officially adopted in 2015 by order number 300, Prikaz 300, which is where the patches get their name PR 300 from. This order also renamed it from VKBO, which is Всесезонный комплект базового обмундирования, which is all-year base uniform set, to VKPO, Всесезонный комплект полевого обмундирования, which is all-year field uniform set. So in military context, the name for this is always VKPO, not VKBO. For civilian use, it can be both ways. Specifically, why did I say this is VKPO 1.0? I will get to that later. But first, let's talk about the uniform as we have it right now. So starting with the hat, with the cap. The cap is much different than it was when the uniform was first adopted. The cap has undergone some changes. Specifically, this would be called an officer's cap back at the beginning of the VKPO. But at some point, a cap exactly like this, but with a private cockade, was supposed to be worn by regular enlisted soldiers. That pretty much was forced to change because the caps came with the officer's cockade sewn in from the manufacturer, so it was impossible for the soldiers to sew on the private's cockade. So because of that, enlisted soldier privates started to wear this cap, and it became the standard. When it comes to the jacket, it's kind of similar to the ACU, but also has some unique Russian traits, with the most obvious one being the pockets, which are not these very uncomfortable slanted pockets of the ACU, but instead are just regular pockets that open from the top. You can see they are closed with Velcro, just like the model of 2014 uniforms. But the difference with them is that there is a space for patches on them, Velcro panels for patches. Specifically for the Armed Forces of Russia, Вооруженные силы России patch, and the patch usually in the name patch, but depending on the internal orders of the unit, it may also be a patch which says the name of the unit or a blood type patch. This of course changed. There was a bit of a change at the beginning of the production. Specifically, there was another Velcro stripe right here above the name patch stripe, and it had two uses. First one of them being a different shape of a blood type patch, but originally it was supposed to house miniature awards, very small. These miniature awards, rewards for soldiers, medals. But they decided at some point that it was not useful, so they got rid of it in the revised version, which came out around 2020. The collar is has placed here for 2 patches and can be stood up, which I have to remove my microphone to show this. When you are trying to put the collar up, you need to remove one of the collar patches. And you would place it right where, and you would place it right here on the Velcro. What's also interesting about the collar, let me just fix it right here, is that it will connect to the sleeve. In case you have an arm injury, you can hold your hand like this. Let me just fix my microphone. Okay, you should be able to hear me. This can be mounted to both the left and the right sleeve. The sleeves close with Velcro, they adjust with Velcro. There's 2 pieces of soft Velcro here, and just standard. So, what is there next? Sleeves. Sleeves feature pockets right here and around the Velcro. These are nice spacious pockets. They do not have a specific closure only for the pockets. It uses the main Velcro panel for the patches. Which talking about the patches, what are supposed to be the patches right here? They're on the, starting with the left sleeve, I guess. This is the branch of the service patch, which will define whether the soldier is from ground forces, naval infantry, airborne forces, and so on. While on the right sleeve is, I think, more interesting. Here you will find the patches for specific, sometimes branch service, like in my case, with the anchor symbolizing the naval infantry. You can find patches for specific units, and you can also see sometimes patches of the military districts, which for the Navy you should also be able to see patches of the fleet the soldier serves in. This changed. It wasn't like this from the beginning. There was a bit of a small piece of Velcro right here at the beginning of the production, which went away around 2020, 2018. Conflicting information. This would house a very small tricolor, with a very small Russian flag, specifically used with the field patches like I have right now. They decided it was not useful, so they got rid of it. The patch, I have it, but I don't have a uniform to properly mount it to, but I think the patch is useful on its own even. You can use it on like a plate carrier or a helmet. It's a very small Russian flag. So there is no lower pockets, nothing like that. I forgot to mention the collar mounts patches designating the soldier's branch of service. In my case, those are little anchors symbolizing the naval infantry. The jacket closes with a zipper secured with Velcro. When it comes to the insides, there is a hidden pocket right here, a hidden waterproof pocket for documents, for carrying documents. For the jacket, there is also reinforcements on the elbows. Original production models had an opening. You could put soft inserts from Slav or some other company inside, but the newer production ones do not have it. Let's now talk about the pants, I guess. I have lowered the camera so it's easier to see. The pants are, I think, very comfortable. One of the best pants I have, military uniform pants I have worn. They have loops both for the large, wide belt, like the one I'm wearing right now, and for very difficult to see with the belt on, loops for the older belt for trousers, specifically from older uniforms. I don't belt like a very small loop like this. Those belts have been issued with older uniforms, like the 2014 uniform, and I don't believe these belts are in production anymore, simply because there is no point if you just have a larger VKPO belt like this one. The belt also has little loops here. I have yet to figure out the purpose of these. So pants have very spacious pockets in the front. I really think these are very good pockets, very spacious, very large. Cargo pockets close with Velcro. They are actually very spacious, similar to the ACU, but they do not have the adjustment piece. Instead, they just have a piece of like rubber. Next up, there are two back pockets closed with buttons. I do not really see the point of back pockets on pants, if I have to be honest. I just do not believe that's at all useful. But if you want it, it's here. I'm pretty sure it's not on some models, but it is on this one. I forgot to mention my uniform was made in 2020. My cap is from 2023. So very late production for the cap. There is reinforcements on the knees, just like on the elbows, and exactly like on the elbows, there is no way to insert anything inside of this. There was on older production models, but not on this one. If we go back to the back, well, you can see that I'm not a native speaker. There is cutouts below the knees, or I guess opposite of the knees, on the back of the knees, for ventilation. Which I forgot to mention, speaking of ventilation, there is a mesh insert under the armpit for ventilation. So the pants also have ways to keep them tucked into the boots. That is a piece of rubber under the legging, and they also have a string which you can tie, which if you want to keep the pants outside of the boots. In my case, I have them tucked into the boot, so I use the rubber strap at the bottom. Now to continue the history of the uniform, where it went and what happened with it. So as we've said, the uniform was adopted in 2015, then it underwent some changes around 2018 to 2020, and I'm pretty sure there was a bit of changes a bit later, a bit more unofficial. And what happened with it? So in 2022, after the special military operation began, the soldiers gave their feedback about the equipment they were issued. And one of the items that was changed was the uniform. The task of designing new uniforms was given to not one, but to three companies. BTK Group, Triada TKO, which used to be called Grupa 99, and which is a part of Kalashnikov concern, and to 545 Design. They designed new uniforms to replace the VKPO, and those new uniforms were given the titles from VKPO 2.0, 3.0 and 4.0. So retrospectively, this one is now known as the 1.0. Officially, it was replaced with the VKPO 3.0, but the 2.0 also made some appearances, and both of these received further development from the companies. And for a period of time, multicam was the actual official uniform used by camouflage. Sorry, not uniform, used by the Russian soldiers. But that was changed as well with the further development of VKPO 2.0 and 3.1, which are made only in EMR. So this leaves the uniform that served since 2015 up until officially 2022, but production continued 2023, and I may have seen some 2024 production examples on Avita, which would imply these were still in production by 2024, which surprises me, because I thought they would be replaced, but maybe because of the ongoing special military operation, they have decided to continue VKPO decides to continue the production of these uniforms, even though the soldiers are supposed to receive 3.0, 3.1 or 2.1 uniforms. What will remain with the future? Will they be still in production? Probably not. If you want one, you should probably get one before they become a bit more difficult to get, simply because of the decreasing availability of these. I think this would pretty much be everything for today. I think I gave you information on this uniform, its history, how it started and where it went. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Please share your thoughts in the comments if you have any questions. And I thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you will enjoy my channel, and be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.